Excellencies who are here, distinguished participants, invited guests, and ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. And I would like to say very good morning. It looks like the way we are here this morning is a great testimony that we are very much committed while we are here, and also it's a demonstration of what we are going to do when we are back to our respective homes. What a pledge and what a promise. We are here for a reason, and of course we may enjoy, as already said, Addis and its environs, but at the same time we have a great task. It really gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all, as it has been said already, distinguished delegates. And look, I would like to say again, welcome to your second home. And your second home is also what you call a land of origins. What a beautiful way of being present here. When you are land of origins means when you are coming through Addis Ababa International Airport, it's not only you are passing through the international airport, but you are also gaining what you call 7 years to be more younger than who you are. Isn't it a good thing to clap? It's very important. Of course, the secret behind is to maintain that youth sphere. You have to stay in Addis. Otherwise, when you leave back the Bole airport, you lose that gain. So that's very important. So I'd like also to very in-depth to say congratulations for all those who managed to prepare this very important platform. Now look, the presence of more than 500 to 700 delegates here from over 30 countries is a powerful demonstration of our shared belief that challenge our societies. And look, I have something which is to say this morning, what is out of what is written. And that's very important. When you are speaking from your own guts, it's more important than what the textbooks say or what the articulations are made to say. Very important. Look this. We may not be able to address things in isolation. And the point is, we have to do things in partnership. What a nice thing. But this has been said for the last many decades, probably like for 100 years, when the UN systems are started to operate, or when they are triggered to be in life. Now, it is the same word, which is called partnership, and then which is also in equivalence, what you call a solidarity, has been there all the time. Now I'd like to challenge each and every one of us this morning, what kind of solidarity and what kind of partnership are we talking about? Some of us, probably we have went through the generations and we are probably on the end part of what we have been able to be transferred into. What it means is our responsibility is probably in detail compared to what it is originally initiated with. However, we are still in the same wording of what we call solidarity vis-a-vis partnership. Now, which solidarity are we talking about? And which partnership are we promoting at any given time? These words are being said on and on all the time. I've been repeating that all the time. Probably you are doing the same all the time too. Now, the partnership and the solidarity which we are discussing here has to have its own what you call a balanced view between solidarity and sovereignty. The continent Africa, has all the wealth, as we know very well, and that has been said in all textbooks and our own speech, very well articulated, very well said, no problem at all. But for how long and how many years we keep on saying the same thing again and again, again and again. I think some people say that talking the same thing again and again with no different results, it means it's questionable to our mindset as well. Therefore, when we are talking about solidarity, I'm now promoting this morning, why don't we think about solidarity inside? Why don't we talk about solidarity in our own communities? Why don't we talk about solidarities in our own districts? Or why don't we talk about solidarities in our own respective constituencies? Now, whatever the solidarity we may think of from somewhere, let's say from the external entities and so on and so forth, they are very good. But this goodness, when it is not done in a balanced and in equitable view, it is going to create what we call dependencies. The dependencies that is eroding, I would like to underline that very word, eroding our own subconscious in such a way that we will not be able to handle anything by our own. Even at times we may be able to try something else and then we are now looking for someone to endorse that we are able to do that. So this solidarity, to the extent it's moving toward this eroding our sovereignty and also the mindset erosion as well, then it doesn't help. So this morning, I would like to emphasize to all attendees, distinguished participants who are here with many, many years of experiences, you know what I'm talking about. You are saying this all the time as well. But as has been said, let us talk, let us walk the talk. My Prime Minister, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, used to say all the time, you may be talking several times, you may be attending several conferences, very nice conferences, very, very nice opening remarks, very nice paperwork, provided that those are not translated into action by using our own minds, heads, and hands to somehow touch the ground, there is no way we can change anything. We may be saying several things. We may be talking about poverty on and on, on and on, on and on. So who is going to change it? And why we are not changing it? Why we are on the same business? In fact, now I'll use that what you call a wonderful word. We are in the same industry all the time. Of course, the industry may be there. What about shifting the industry's role through time? We are talking about basic sanitation. We are talking about what you call the basic nutrition. We are talking about poverty alleviation. The industry is dealing with the same thing again and again and again, and we are there for years, for centuries, for decades. Isn't it very much helpful, or isn't it very much frustrating? Of course, I read what you call a little bit of the World Development Report that says on a beginning year, our donors, funders, they were using motorbikes to visit them, a specific community. Next year, they used what you call Land Rovers to visit them. The third year, they used the helicopters to visit them. Now, those who are visiting are, of course, they are changing their style, their way of operation, their status. But the people who are visited, they are not changing anything. They are not changing anything. They are sitting in the same position, in the same location, with no change of lives. If we are doing the same thing to our communities, to our respective communities, as what we call enlightened organization and people, and also citizens of a given nations, now, is it a curse or is it a blessing? So this is a question as we gather together. I think if we consider ourselves like a change agents then this is what we have to do. I'm sure you agree with me. In Ethiopia, we, through the flagship program of our Prime Minister, we introduced, please take note of this, we introduced what we call the Humanitarian Relief Sovereignty Initiative. And probably you also heard what we call a Green Legacy Initiative. The Green Legacy Initiative, the latest round that was launched a few days ago is now trying to achieve, in fact, plan to achieve, about planting 8.5 billion seedlings, which is going to bring the 48 billion seedlings that has been done in the last 7 years to a total of more than 56 billion seedlings, which is marvelous job, globally recognized. Our Prime Minister and his team, all of us, very much recognized. And this is what you call people's power. This is what you call the resources we have in our hand. If we want to mobilize the project offices, now this and that, to plant about 56 billion of seedlings in a given, what you call an 8 years time frame, it's not achievable. In fact, our Prime Minister used to say, if you calculate $1 for each of these seedlings, very easily, it means 86 billion $, who is going to mobilize this for this purpose, if not for people power. The humanitarian relief sovereignty, which I mentioned earlier, it has its own roadmap as well as package that is basically addressed within the balance of solidarity as well as sovereignty. It's like a job division. You do your job and the others also do whatever they can. Therefore, I think, am I on my time track? I have to get a permission from my boss. Otherwise, I will be kicked out of the podium here. Now, the questions. I think they're very, very nice questions. Number one, as we engage in this discussion, we must ask ourselves several important questions. How can we unlock the greater domestic resources in our disposal? How? Do we know them, first of all, and then how we can able to unlock them? Number two, how we can strengthen the trust and collaboration among all actors, government, non-government, and above all the communities, the citizens themselves. How can we ensure that local communities remain at the center of decision making? I know this very known, popular, what you call a great bargain initiative, but localization, nexus, and what else? The 25% allocation to the grassroots level, so on and so forth. Do you think it's happening? I think we have to question. And then what is our role in achieving those are some of the things which we have to discuss here. And who is deciding on whose behalf? How can we leverage Africa's rich traditions? Very, very rich tradition. I can tell you very, very rich traditions. Of course, we say it, but we have to maximize, empower it. In Ethiopia, we call it, we have to make it institutional as well as systemic in such a way that it performs today for whatever eventualities that may come tomorrow. So they're like early preparedness. How can we build partnerships that are rooted in mutual respect, shared accountability, and long-term impact? And above all, I would like to emphasize how our industry transits itself to a better shape rather than repeating itself for centuries. Therefore, the answers to these questions will help to shape our future of our region. My organizer is saying you are done and everything is okay. Now, finally, I think it's very important to say, I wish you a very, very productive deliberations. I wish you. then successful engagement, and in doing so, a genuine one. Please, let us not be, I don't want to use the word as it is, but you know what I'm tending to say. Very much genuine on what we are thinking. And also, finally, I would like to say, the classroom, the auditorium tasks are okay. Please also enjoy Addis. I was listening, my brother was saying about Injera. There are even more than Injera. There is a corridor-related development, the riverside development, move around. These are also related with what you call the resilience building, that which all of us are looking forward. Development, the so-called the nexus, the humanitarian development peace nexus. Finally, with these very few remarks, because I was given a time's up, with those very few remarks, it is my distinct honor and privilege to declare the 10th East African Philanthropy Conference is officially open, and I thank you very much.